stupid, you. Hi, everybody. My name is Del Morgado. For those of you that know me from the Del Morgado Show on realityradio101.com, you will know exactly who I am. For those of you first-time viewers or even first-time listeners, whatever you want to call it, welcome. This is Del Morgado Show Unleashed. Basically, what this is all about is completely my own. It's my own show. There's nobody around, obviously. It's just me here in my apartment. And the reason I came up with this concept was only because of the fact that there's a lot of times I'm on the air doing the live show, and there's a lot of times I'm interrupted either by phone call or email, which I don't mind. I love the fans' participation, and I, of course, appreciate that. And I do have quite a bit of a fan following on Reality Radio 101, but I decided to do this only because of the fact that basically there's a lot of times where I want to bring up certain subjects on the show, and there's a lot of times that I don't. The main reason being is I don't want the show to become too geeky. Obviously, I want to have something, you know, like a good banter between myself and Gary Labar, who's been on my show pretty much since day one. Again, this is going to be completely uncut. I'm just going to be grabbing the camera and going. So if you see little screw-ups and things like that, I'm not editing this shit out. And also content. For those of you who are sensitive, this is probably not the show for you. There will be occasional F-bombs, if not more. Only because sometimes I get a little, you know, what's the word I'm looking for here? Obviously, I brain fart, which is normal on the show. But, you know, there's those moments where you kind of, you unleash yourself and you say stuff that sometimes you regret saying. But here, I can say whatever I want. Mind you, I can say whatever I want on Reality Radio 101. There aren't any boundaries. We're not governed by the FCC or the Canadian version, which is the CRTC. But there are a lot of topics that I probably wouldn't bring up on my regular show, only because of the fact that, like I said, I really don't want to make it a geek show per se. I want it to be entertaining. I want it to be funny. And a lot of times, if I start going off on these subjects, it's not really funny. Because, you know, sometimes I just talk and I forget to add the humor, you know. So this is basically my way of unleashing myself onto the world. So if there's something that I talk about and I get a little emotional about, I'm able to continue, but I am going to try not to talk too much about certain things. Because obviously, you know, you're here, you're listening. Obviously, this is only exclusive to Patreon and OnlyFans. So if you're watching this right now, it is on patreon.com/Del Show or onlyfans.com/Del Show. I am looking for donations, you know, whether it be $1, $5, $10, and I will give something back, like I say in my written dialogue on patreon.com. I am offering advertising and also word-of-mouth advertising and banners, banner ads, commercials on my radio show. It's every other week. So it's every other Monday at 9 p.m. on realityradio101.com. I also do another show called The Hikadelic Show. That show is the alternate Monday. So one Monday you get the Del Morgado Show, the next Monday you get the Hikadelic Show, and I host that show with my dear friend Heiko. And we've been working together for a while, and we've had a blast. And I blame you, Heiko, for bringing me back on the air. Let me give you a little backstory. I've had a couple of, you know, differences, creative differences on the air. And also, there was a time where I needed to, you know, make money because obviously, you know, you got to work, you got to do your job. So, you know, by me working at night, I found it very difficult to be able to maintain doing the show as well. I have done the show on Reality Radio 101 for almost 5 years. Shit. It's a long fucking time. But, yeah, so, I mean, I wanted to do this because I want my show to go weekly again, and obviously with your help, it will go weekly. But what I'm doing here is basically, it's called Unleashed. So now, I don't know how long these shows are going to be, I don't know how frequently I'm going to do this, and I don't know if this is actually going to catch your attention. I mean, that's kind of the idea. If you guys like what you see, please comment at the bottom. Obviously, I don't know how many people are watching because unlike YouTube or any other social media, I can see a counter. In this situation, I probably won't be able to. Mind you, the videos may have to still go through YouTube as a source because we're not able to upload video directly to, well, OnlyFans you can, but with this one, you can't do it with Patreon. So for those of you who are on Patreon or OnlyFans.com, thank you for checking out my page, and I hope you enjoy the show. Now, what am I going to talk about? What the hell am I going to talk about? I don't fucking know. I never know anyways. I never come to the show with any sort of script. I used to when I first started doing the show, and I do blame Gary LaBar for this, but at the same time, I'm actually grateful to Gary LaBar, who is the producer / station manager of RealityRadio101.com. Please, whenever you get a chance, check it out. Great music, and we have great shows every evening. You can check them all out. But going back to what I was saying about Gary, he actually kind of pushed me into doing improv and to kind of just go off the cuff. So, I don't know how long these are going to last, only because I don't know how long I can talk. I know I can talk for a long freaking time, especially with what I'm going to talk about today. Yes, I do have a topic, and I will bring topics every single time. Things that, like I said, I don't normally bring up. I normally do reviews on movies. For those of you who are subscribed to my Facebook page, facebook.com/DFH Studios, you will see that I've done the occasional movie review, actually quite a lot actually, and if you also go onto my Facebook page now, which is facebook.com/Del Morgado Show, I'll give all this information at the end, of course, again, just because I have to, so you guys know where to contact me. If you guys do want to be a part of the show, I do record this show whenever I get a chance. It'll probably be once a week if I can, but you can contact me at dfhstudios@hotmail.com. That's dfhstudios@hotmail.com. If you bring up topics for the show, I will talk about them here. If you want to email me and make comments, I will read them off the computer here, which occasionally I will use my computer to get notes or to get whatever, to look up funny videos or something along those lines. There are a million podcasts out there, okay? Well, actually not a million. I guess that may be going a little bit too far. But there's thousands of them out there. This isn't really a podcast. This is an addition to my regular radio show, which can only be heard live every other Monday at 9 p.m. It's not a pre-recorded, or it's not a recorded show. It's live. Whatever happens on that show, I have no control over. So anyways, okay, I've already discussed enough. I've already babbled enough. Obviously, you can see that I can talk. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't have a radio show if I couldn't talk. And that's the one good thing about being on the radio is the fact that I have to push myself to be creative. I have to push myself to talk because you don't want dead air on the radio. At least here, there's visual. You can see my ugly face. I mean, my sexy... My face. All right. Done. Anyways, so I'm also going to be able to accept phone calls, which if you guys ever want to be a part of the show, hell, if you guys ever want to come down, I can film anywhere. I'm very much able to go anywhere and take this damn camera with me, and we just go nuts. So I can have guests on this show. I can also have people call in. Obviously, right now, I've got my phone sitting right here, DFH Studios, and I am recording, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this fucking thing off, just in case, because, I mean, right now, nobody knows that I'm doing this, so, well, they do, because I kind of put a little trailer out to everybody out there. But anyways, so, alright, I've gone way off topic a couple, which I'm used to doing, and that's why sometimes it's good to have somebody with me to kind of keep me focused. Focus, okay. For those who listen to the show, have heard me do my Arnold impression, you've heard me do the Jamaican Austin Powers, and this way you can actually see my face for a change, as opposed to just listening. You can see me now. Again, I don't know how often I'll do this, but I'll try to do this as often as possible. Who knows, maybe I'll do this instead of the show because I'm not weekly yet. I may do the show on the air, and then I may have one of these just to make an every week show. Please, again, donate to the Del Morgado Show to keep me on the air. I play that ad every single week. It's actually on RealityRadio101.com. I need help. I need people to donate to help me out, because I would love to have the show go weekly with one day hoping that the show goes daily. That is the ultimate goal. That is what I'm trying to do. I want to bring you guys entertainment all the time, every single day, and be able to give you nonsense on a daily basis. Obviously, if I were to go daily, obviously I would get into the politics. I would talk about more current events. But there is a current event that I do have to talk about. It's sort of been bugging me. I posted this a little while back, shortly after the Star Wars number 8 came out, aka The Last Jedi. For those of you who want a review, I'm going to give it to you right now. I don't do spoilers. I never do, never will. I don't give away too much. And if anything, my personal opinion, go watch the movie yourself. Don't rely on critics, because sometimes critics are full of shit. I admit, there's a lot of times I've done reviews, and they're full of shit. You listen to my review and you're like, what the fuck is he talking about? You watch the movie and then you say, Dell's way off, man, because I do reviews all the time. But this time I'm going to do a review on The Last Jedi. Go watch it. Alright? I'm not saying shit. What I am going to say is, and this is something that I've been feeling for a very, very long time. For those of you that know me, you will know my love for Star Wars. As far as I'm concerned, there's only 3 Star Wars movies. Okay? Star Wars, not episode fucking 4, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. Alright? For those of you that ever saw the original Star Wars film, it doesn't say A New Hope in the crawl. I'm sorry to burst your bubble. But if you'd like it, I can show it to you one day if you ever want to, if you don't believe me. But anyways, Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi are the only Star Wars films that I've ever really, truly appreciated. And let me give you a little bit of background here. As soon as they released the special edition bullshit, I was already turned off. I was already pissed off. I'm like, why are you fucking with the originals? The originals is what made the fans come to be. It's because of those original 3 films we're here today as huge Star Wars fans. I am a huge Star Wars fan, but not anymore. And I'll explain why. Here's where I go off on my rants. Unleashed, obviously. I love Star Wars, but as soon as those special editions came out, I was already starting to get upset. Don't fuck with something that isn't broken. Don't fix something that isn't broken. It wasn't broken. The movies were amazing, the original way that they were created. They were done perfectly with what they had. There was no need to tamper with them. And then holy fucking shit, he released episode goddamn 1. Episode 1 fucked everything up. I'm sorry, but that's the way I feel. As soon as episode 1 came out, there was 20 years we were waiting for this fucking movie. 20 years waiting to see what was going to be brought out for episode 1. And we're all sitting in the theater like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. This? I've waited all this time for this? I'm not even going to talk about Jar Jar Binks. I'm not even going to talk about the kid that played Anakin Skywalker. It was a bad movie. They actually have versions out there online that you can find. It's called the Phantom Edit. Alright? If you watch the Phantom Edit, what they did was they pretty much got rid of all of Jar Jar's scenes, and they got rid of the kid. Okay? They got rid of a lot of his scenes. Like, yippee! And all that other bullshit. Alright? And it was still a bad movie. Episode 1 ruined it for so many Star Wars fans. Now, I'm not talking about the young kids. No. Because they're entering this world at a young age. And this is my whole point. When I saw the original films, Jesus, the first movie I ever saw in the theater was Return of the Jedi. When I saw those original films, I was a kid. And I loved it. Of course! As a kid, you see monsters, you see lasers and starships and all this sort of stuff. The perfect fantasy world for a child. But then I grew up. I will never say my childhood was ruined, which most people do. No, bullshit. My adulthood was ruined when episode fucking 1 came out. And Jesus Christ, it didn't stop at that. Episode 2, And then episode 3, and it was just getting worse and worse and worse. Episode 3 was sort of, I could deal with it because we finally saw the big battle, and we're like, okay, we want more dialogue, you know, because obviously Star Wars, not episode whatever, Star Wars had that banter between Vader and Obi-Wan. And the fact that it was such good banter back and forth, it was an incredible dialogue scene, the emotions were there. There was a history. You could tell there was a history going on, despite the fact that episode 1, 2, 3 came 20 years later or more. So, anyways, episode 3 comes out, we finally see Darth Vader become Vader. And then all of a sudden, that fucking nightmare of a scene where he's like, no! Dude, what the fuck? I've seen so many other documentaries that have actually said, oh my god, wouldn't it be cool if he just did like one of these, and obviously he's got a mask on, you hear him go, argh! And then you see sparks and shit flying out of his voice box. That would be fucking crazy. Not, no, no. What the fuck? Dude, it was bad. Episode 1, 2, 3 fucked everything up. Everything. Okay? Then Disney took over. A New Hope. I'll finally call it A New Hope, as far as I thought. I thought by Disney taking over, because what they've done with Marvel, phenomenal. I love what they've done with Marvel. Absolutely incredible. When I heard J.J. Abrams was going to be directing the film, first thing in my fucking head was, Jesus Christ, how many fucking lens flares are we going to see in this damn movie? That was my main concern, and then obviously I saw the film. And here's the interesting part. Episode 7. We have waited a lot longer than 20 fucking years for this fucking thing. And, for those of you that don't know, there were books written. Okay? We all know that this goes to 7, 8, 9. We all knew that, even back as a kid. They didn't follow the books. Unbeknownst to me and all the fans out there, they didn't follow the books. I ain't gonna say shit about the books. Just because you guys probably out there might be a few fans out there. I hope, maybe, kind of. And if you don't like what I have to say, email me, dfhstudios@hotmail.com. And you can give me your opinions, and I'll pretty much tell you exactly what I've said to everybody else. There's only 3 Star Wars films as far as I'm concerned. Anyways, going back to episode 7. I went to go watch it on my birthday 2 years ago. And I was so excited, but at the same time, scared. Obviously, because episode 1, 2, and 3 were such a letdown, it hurt me. And I was like, oh God, please make episode 7 good. For those of you who still haven't seen episode 7, you're obviously not a Star Wars fan. Gotta say that. Okay? If you haven't seen episode 7 by this point, you're under a fucking rock, or you are not a Star Wars fan. Hate to break the news to you, but you're not. You would have seen it by now. So I'm going to mention stuff about episode 7. Obviously, because that's been out for 2 fucking years. And if you haven't seen it yet, well, spoilers. Okay, not that bad, but anyways. Episode 7 obviously didn't go by the books. And on top of that, Luke Skywalker. Not one fucking word. Okay? We wait all these years to see episode 7. And all you get is a fucking lightsaber passed to the Jedi. The Jedi, Luke Skywalker here, the guy we've been waiting to see for so long. And all you see is a lightsaber pass, he stares into the camera, credits. What the fuck? It was the dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I was so pissed. And you know what? I can prove to you how pissed I was. I actually bought tickets for 2 days in a row. I went to go see it the second time. And that was pretty much about it. Even after its release on DVD, years later, or a year later, or probably less than a year later, I had that movie sitting around, and I didn't watch it again until after, way after Rogue One, which I will get into Rogue One in a second. Anyways, I waited a year because I just couldn't bring myself to fucking see that fucking movie again. It really upset me. I mean, you may be thinking there, oh my God, dude, why are you getting so emotional about Star Wars? That's what Star Wars is to a lot of people. A lot of people love Star Wars. Beyond, like, I mean, I'm actually pretty calm compared to some of these other fucking people. But there's some fucking fanatics out there, super, super fanatics. I'd like to think of myself as I take it to heart, meaning I kind of believe in the religion, the force, you know, and the what surrounds us. Obviously what Yoda said, not what they fucking mentioned in episode 1. I don't believe any of that bullshit, fuck, whatever. Anyways, going back to what I was saying about episode 7, I'm sorry, I trail off. But episode 7 was a big disappointment. I was already on the fence about Star Wars. But, for children, great film. As it should be. It's made for children. But there's an underlying message going on in these films. And that's what brought our emotions as high as they are. Now let's talk about Rogue One. Moment of pause. I really don't give a fuck about Rogue One. The motherfuckers out there, you motherfuckers out there, that say Rogue One is better than Empire Strikes Back, are you on fucking crack? Are you on glue? Are you fucking nuts? Rogue One was a prequel to episode whatever, Star Wars. It was a prequel to Star Wars. The only good thing about Rogue One, and I actually checked this shit, was the last 2 minutes. That's it. And of course when Darth Vader shows up. That was kind of cool. But he wasn't on screen for too long, and that was a big disappointment. Because I would have loved to see Darth Vader at his real fucking evil. There's actually a picture out there. I don't have it right now, obviously, because I'm talking off the cuff. There's a picture where he's surrounded by thousands of soldiers. This is a comic picture. And then he says, "You guys should all be afraid right now, because I'm about to fuck you up." Or something along those lines. I will get that for the next time, so you know what I'm talking about. But anyways, that showed the true strength of Darth Vader in that one comic page, and yet we only see the last 2 minutes of the film was actually good. Was actually amazing, actually. Blew me away. And for those of you who haven't seen Rogue One, again, it's been a year. You're obviously not a fan. Don't fucking give me any shit. Kiss my ass if you call yourself a fan after not watching after a year. Well, I wasn't a fan of episode 7, so I'm going to defend myself right there. Anyways, so Rogue One was, again, big disappointment. I hate to break the news to you guys. The story was slow. It was boring, okay? It didn't pick up until 30 minutes into it, okay? Why don't you guys watch the fucking movie again? Maybe you might actually see that. And then, episode 8 came out, and to be 100% honest with you, I couldn't give a fuck about Last Jedi. I was like, you know what? I'm going to see it no matter what. Just like I'm going to watch number 9. No matter what. Because I'm a Star Wars fan. I have to see it. But you know why? Because I can't avoid a train wreck. When you're on the fucking highway and you see a big accident, you have to look. There's something inside of us that makes us look. I don't know what it is, but there's something inside us. And that's what's going to happen with episode 9. No fucking idea what they're going to do with this fucking movie, what they're going to do with the story. Obviously, it has nothing to do with the original books, which is a big letdown for a true Star Wars fan, because we were waiting to see that shit, man. That was some crazy ass shit. Nope, never going to see it. Because Disney, I hate to say this, is too tame. Alright? That shit was insane. I mean, they've dumbed it down. They've turned it into a funny thing. Obviously, they've tamed down Marvel quite a lot, which is kind of disappointing to me. But when it comes to the Star Wars films, and ever since they got rid of the 20th Century Fox logo, I know this sounds kind of silly, but ever since they got rid of that, I'm not hyped up to see the fucking movie anymore. Honestly. I mean, you get that big moment, that music, dun, 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 and you're like, yeah! And then you see it a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, and you're like, yeah, bring this shit! And then the music, you don't get that anymore. You don't get that big moment. Shit. Anyways, I don't know how much further I can go with. I can talk about this shit all day, all night. I mean, I'm a big fan of Star Wars. Huge fan of Star Wars. Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. That is what I'm a fan of. And people actually emailed me because they wanted to know my opinion. I am a gigantic, huge Star Wars fan. Alright? Obviously, you see how emotional I got there. But this is one of those things that I can't really talk about on my live show every other Monday at 9 p.m. The Del Morgado Show will start, obviously, in the new year, and I am going to probably continue this depending on feedback. If I get any feedback, I'll continue doing this, of course, because then it proves to me that people are watching, people are looking, people are interested. And if people are interested in hearing me banter on my own, holy shit, I'll do this. I'll keep doing it. So please, please make comments. If you already tuned out, if you already got upset about what I said, oh well, it was worth a try. But if you like what I had to say and you like this concept, please let me know. Email me at dfhstudios@hotmail.com. Let me know if this is actually worth my time. In all honesty, I am a busy guy. I work nights and I'm constantly working because obviously I got to put fucking food on the table. So this, to me right now, I love doing this kind of thing, but at the same time, it is difficult because obviously, as I say in my profile, life gets in the way. Life always gets in the way. And the reason why I'm on Patreon is to do this full time. Because I love doing this stuff. I love being on the air. And I'm actually enjoying doing this. Because this is cool. This is fun for me. Because again, I'm not interrupted. I can just keep talking. Mind you, like I said, I will set it up so you can actually make phone calls. And I'm going to set up a speaker system, so if anybody wants to be on the show, you can actually be here with me if you can't make it to my place. Or, who knows, I might travel to come and see you if you want to do this. I used to do a show called Drinking and Yakking, for those of you who are on my YouTube page, youtube.com/Delmor or DFH Studios. Fuck, my brain just isn't working. Anyways, so, bottom line, I love doing this kind of stuff. I've always been in entertainment. This gives me an opportunity to talk to you guys off the air, basically, and give you a little bit more extra content. Obviously, the next time, I'll be talking about other stuff. I do have tons of movies that I haven't reviewed yet on my page, and I may actually keep them to this. I may actually start reviewing all my movies here as opposed to doing it on my Facebook page. Facebook.com/Del Morgado Show, by the way. Or DFH Studios, whichever you desire. But if you do like what I have to say, if you like what I'm talking about, if you dig my vibe, please donate. Because I would love to do this full time. And I would love to do this all the time. Because this would be incredible. It's fun. Why not? You talk, you banter with people, you communicate with people, and hey, who knows? If you guys ever want, you can actually come down here and we can do the show together. Come in the studio if you want to be a part of my show. I have tons of friends that I'm sure would love to be a part of the show. But the only way you can do that is by contacting me, dfhstudios@hotmail.com. If you live in the Toronto area, who knows? We might be able to make something happen. Bottom line, if this works and people enjoy what they have to see or hear, I'll keep doing it. Obviously. Makes sense, right? I have no idea how much I've been fucking babbling, by the way. Which is going to be really interesting to see the end when I go and I didn't put no timers either because I just said, fuck it. I can do this every week. I usually go, my show's an hour and a half every single other week. Plus, of course, the Hycadelic Show, again, every week. So I'm always doing this. I can talk forever. I don't know how long you're going to want to listen to me. That's the real question. So, I mean, obviously, this is different. It feels different for me because, you know, I don't have a microphone, I don't have the headset and the whole bit. But at the same time, I have been doing videos for many years, so this is nothing new. You know, I mean, I did Drinking and Yakking, and I did like a whole bunch of other improv videos and tons of videos. I'm sort of used to this kind of thing. But at the same time, going back to what I said at the beginning of the show, this gives me a platform to be able to just talk about stuff I normally wouldn't bring up on the show. There's a lot of things I wouldn't bring up on the show. I mean, there's a lot of things that to me, I don't think I should bring them up on the show, only because of the fact that Gary, my producer, station manager, he is not into this geek stuff. So because he's not into the geek stuff, I'm sort of limited as to what I can really bring up on the show. And that's not a bad thing, because we talk about other stuff and we make the show entertaining, obviously, which we try every single week. And I do have a fan base, and you fucking fans are crazy, man. Because when I initially said I was going to go off the air, I had so many people write into the show saying, Del, don't go anywhere, don't go anywhere. I felt the love, and this is why I'm still doing this. Because I want I want to be here for you guys. I want to give you entertainment, and this is why I'm doing this. Again, please, I don't know unless you give me feedback. dfhstudios@hotmail.com, or write a comment below. Please let me know what you think, because otherwise I'm wasting my breath. I mean, that's how I feel sometimes, right? Because, you know, you do all this stuff, you think you're doing something, and then all of a sudden nobody really gives a shit. So you're like, okay, what's the point of doing this stuff? I mean, let's face it. There's a lot of things that we start and sometimes don't finish because we sort of give up because we don't have that support. And I do have that support. And I do right now want to thank my special, lovely, beautiful, livacious lady Shannon Graham. Because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have the motivation to keep going. And she actually inspired this idea. And yes, I'm going to say it right here, right now. I love that woman. She's incredible. She definitely keeps me going. And she is the inspiration that I'm talking about. We all need that inspiration. And Shannon, you are definitely my inspiration. Tear. Sorry. But anyways, I can keep going. But obviously, I'm going to keep this one short and simple. I don't even know how long it is, to be honest. I'm sure I've been babbling for half an hour now, at least. So I just want to say thank you. If you guys did enjoy the show, thank you very much for enjoying the show. If you don't, again, please leave a comment, email me, feel free. If you have any topics you want to bring up, by all means. Now, my show wouldn't be complete without my outro. I don't know if this is really going to work, because I might get dinged with copyrights, and I don't really want to get dinged with copyrights. So I will, I'll do this bit without my music. It might be a little bit more different because I'm used to having that music in the background. And I don't really have anyone to thank in the studio, obviously, Gary, because he's not here right now. Hey, Gary, if you're watching this, I do love you, buddy. Don't think otherwise. But like I said earlier, this is different, because now I can just talk myself and bring up topics, like I said, I normally wouldn't bring up. So anyways, again, I might as well start this up. I don't think I'm going to play the music, again, just to be on the safe side. I don't really want to be dinged with copyrights and all that kind of stuff. So, as I say every other week on the Del Morgado Show, and I had been saying for almost 5 years, all good things must come to an end. But my ass will be back next time. Either the Hikadelic Show, or the Del Morgado Show, or the Del Morgado Show Unleashed. If you want to get in touch with me, if you want to check out my YouTube page, www.com, sorry, not YouTube, youtube.com/DFH Studios. You can also check out my Facebook pages, facebook.com/DFH Studios and /Del Morgado Show. I don't have the script, so that's why I'm fucking up. You can also contact me. Comments, suggestions, or topics for my shows, dfhstudios@hotmail.com. You can also donate to Patreon. Patreon.com/Del Morgado Show, or if you are on OnlyFans, onlyfans.com/Del Morgado Show. You can also check me out on Twitter at DFH Studios and at Del Morgado Show. I want to thank, sorry, I'm trying to remember my script here. I want to thank each and every single one of you, for supporting me through all these years on realityradio101.com. Hopefully my fans will start coming over here to check this out as well. And I especially want to thank all of you for being a part of this show and for supporting me all these years. I love all of you guys. And I'm trying to remember my script, I'm sorry. Next time I'm going to have a beer. Just so I can, like, because my throat's getting a little weird too. But anyways, I want to thank each and every one of you for listening, watching, whatever you do. And I hope that you tune in next time. My name! I got the perfect shirt for it too. Is Del Morgado. And you've been watching and listening to the Del Morgado Show Unleashed. See you next time. I don't know.